of the Fifth Fleet. It's time.
Master Hunter World, the poaching simulator that drew me in the insatiable desire to make hats out of every living thing. I've played this back in 2018 on release and sunk about 100 hours in it before moving on to other things. With Monster Hunter Wilds on the horizon though, looming over us, I started thinking about World again. Sadly I don't have my original character anymore, so it's time to start anew. This time going for all the achievements. I expect this to take a lot of time, so let's begin. I quickly just want to mention that in this video we're tackling the base game achievements, as Iceborne is a different beast altogether. There are 100 achievements in total, and 50 of those concern the base game. We'll have to do the story missions, do hunt-specific achievements, various quests, research goals, crown farming, and a little bit of hunting for endemic life. There is also plenty of multiplayer ones too, so we'll need friends and strangers to overcome this. Speaking of friends, I want to take a moment here to thank everyone who helped me on the multiplayer side. Special thanks to Meadow, who stood by me for many hunts. This wouldn't have been possible without him, and it definitely wouldn't have been such an amazing experience. We start by creating our hero, and we have a choice of armor, but armor is earned, so we'll continue in our pajamas. Together with our trusty sidekick Goblin, we set sail for the new world in search of animals to wear. An old dying angry rock stops me from reaching Astera and disturbs my dinner, and I'll get you for this, Zora. In the new world, we steal a journal with a map and make our way to a clearing where, after hiding in some bushes, we get our first achievement, the art of camouflage. Escape the small jagras and make your way to the camp, where we take a tour of the place and reunite with Goblin. Hey, get your own evil minion, this one's imported. After a short briefing, we head back into our new home and pick a weapon. There are 14 weapons in the game, and while I originally played longsword, I've since cleansed myself of the weebness and I want to start anew with something different. So we're going with switch axe this time. With the release of Iceborne, the Guardian armor and Defender weapons are available to use as a way to jumpstart your progress in the base game, but we won't be using those as I feel it takes away from the beauty of the early game. Plus they all look like rusted junk anyway. Regular weapons force you to learn the monsters and you have a meaningful upgrade path where you feel each jump forward. Going on our first mission, I sit down to roast some meat. The color of the meat and the music is key to knowing when it's done cooking, and once you get it right, the so tasty achievement will pop. Also make sure you gather everything on your hunts, plants, bugs, animals, you'll need them all eventually. With the first hunt done, I purchase a bone switch axe and upgrade it. On the next mission we have to kill a few Kestodon. Here I found some fish to scoop up with my net for angling for a bite, and met our first real monster, the Great Jagras. While tracking it, scoop up all the footprints to increase our understanding of the monster, as we'll need to max out each monster in the game for the Monster PhD achievement. After taking him down, we get welcome to the new world. Back home with the new monster parts, I can start working on some new armor pieces. Looking good so far. In the forest, we start with an expedition. I meet some researchers out and about, accept the investigation task to fish for a pink something, and we get it on our third try. Taking the sights as you gather the materials en route to the camp, where we face off against a bird that will probably peck us at night if we don't kill it. Hunt down the Kuluyaku, and this was the first monster I mounted, granting me the bigger they are. And we return home. After hunting the Puki Puki, taking its tail and killing it in its nest, we get access to rank 3 missions. Getting Nothing Stops this commission. Not much else to say about the forest. I take up fungal flexing to finish up the 1-star quests, and I find the location for a new camp. Made some more armor to feel less naked, and rewarded the Goblin with some gear for all the help so far. We get to a new area, the Wildspire Wastes, a desert biome filled with new materials and monsters. We aid the research team and face off against the Barreth. The next quest has us searching for a missing researcher, pitting us against a Juretodus. Wake up the salmon from its sleep and move on to more quests. We now have access to Snatch the Snatcher, our first capture quest. Soften up the monster a bit and capture it for the Capture Novice achievement. We move on to Tobi Kadachi, Squirrel Snake of the Forest. which we take down without much trouble, capturing him as well for our menagerie. This unlocks our botanist and we can start growing honey for more mega potions. Now it's time to fight the big cheese of the early game, the encroaching Anjanath. Battle the fire dinosaur, breaking parts left and right, and capture him. Once he's down, we get access to rank 4 quests and the Defender of Ostera achievement. We also use its large bones from his hips or something to craft a Bone Smasher 1. The Flamen Bale looks amazing, but we want a switch axe with the power files. It's time for the first Zora Magdaros encounter. The trap is set and we start pounding him with cannon fire. Come on men, load the cannons! This is a scripted set piece, so you can't really fail it. Once you get on his back, destroy the 4 magma pimples. But our plan is thwarted by a horrible beast, Nergigante. It only takes a few hits to get him to back off though, and they both escape in the commotion, and we'll have to fight them another day. Find the Tsitsiyaku and set up a new camp in the Coral Lands, as we're not going to hunt it yet. Instead, set out in search of a Paolumu. I decided it was time to start working on the multiplayer achievements, so I fired the first SOS flare for help! And finished my first multiplayer quest for Hunters United. Next up, I take a small trip into the Rotten Vale to see a great Gyros and a Radoban. Time to hunt everything again, starting with the living Beyblade. Watch out for the spinning move and you should be fine. Next up is Legiana. She screams a lot and managed to one-shot me at one point, but nothing is impossible with friends. Take her down to unlock Into the Deep. Odogaron is a bit fast for my weapon, and at some point he ran out on me, so we've decided to bully a Greek Gyros instead, to get some more parts before finishing off the Red Dog. We now have access to some upgrades, and while my armor is a messy mix of random things, we're going to change it as soon as we get to high rank anyway. But we can start upgrading the iron switch axe to get to the lightning tree, but for this to truly be an upgrade we'll need more Toby parts. It's time to tackle our first investigation in hopes of getting an electrode. We set out, hunt the monster, and no electrode. We still get an inquisitive mind for doing our first investigation, but I hunt him 2 more times until we get the parts we need. Back to the main quest, we hunt Rathalos, who flies around the whole map, making us chase him for a very long time. I've also found a moss wine that I accidentally rode for the first ride achievement, but that one's from Iceborne, so don't look at it. The next challenge is Diablos. I remember this not being that bad with the longsword, as I could parry his charge, but now my only option is to jump out of the way. I befriend the Tail Rider for the first friends achievement. Find the strange cactus man that I decide to abduct. And then the fight starts. I go down once, but he's no match for 4 hunters. Once the hunt is over, we can now fight Zora again to get our revenge. But before that, I consolidate my position in low rank with a few more hunts and optional quests. After you unlock 5 camps, the New World Settler achievement will pop up, and while fighting at Tsitsiyaku, I found my first crown, earning the Giant Crown achievement for finding our first thick boy. I can almost taste high rank, so we set out to divert Zora Magdaros once and for all. This is for having nice gear that's annoying to farm, Zora. Once the pesky bugger leaves, you'll get Death Begets Life. We can also speak to our housekeeper and move up into a new home for more decoration space and the Moving On Up achievement. It's time to unlock high rank, meaning we capture this Pookie and set out in search for the Pink Rathian. When, oh god, what did I get myself into? What fresh hell is this? Nope, enough Monster Hunter for today. In one of the first hunts of the next evening, we set out to capture a Toby, and end up hunting the whole map, which gives us 2 crowns for the smallest Anjanath and Jagras, granting us the Miniature Crown achievement. Insane luck, but wait, there's more. I didn't get enough Toby parts to upgrade my weapon further, so we ran another investigation, and got the Golden Large Crown for the Great Jagras. This is insane considering you have like a 3% chance to get the crown in a regular hunt or investigation. I really hope I didn't use up all my luck with this, but it seems like the poaching gods are smiling on us. Maybe it won't take 200 hours to farm all the crowns. After hunting a Pink Rathian, we unlock rank 7 optional quests and the Empress of the Highlands achievement. Almost done with the main story. With the Elder's Recess available, I now have access to stronger enemies. I tried to get this Uragan, but I get chinned in the first seconds of the fight. Maybe I should upgrade my armor a bit with some high rank pieces. Oh, no wonder I was going down like that. I was still sporting hunter pants with 6 defense. What am I even doing? After getting a starting high rank set, we also craft something for Goblin. Oh, look at him, I love him so much. I tried my hand at Energigante a few times, and got really close once, but it seems I can't really beat him yet. But after one of the fights I unlocked boson bodies for getting any Palico equipment to level 10. I tried doing other things, but the fight kept drawing me in. It was the first real monster that made me fail hunt after hunt after hunt. It's time to gear up for real. I kill a few Odogarans for 3 armor pieces and a Rathalos for the chest. Not my first choice, but I also made the strategist spectacles for the defense and 2 points in critical eye, even if I risk looking like a nerdy librarian. With a bit more luck and the armor stats and skills no longer working against me, we take down Nergigante and gain 1 shall stand, 1 shall fall. The world of Elder Dragons is now open to us, but before we delve deeper into it, I want to get a better weapon, and my eyes are set for the Diablos line. I clean up a few low rank quests to get the mantles and upgrades, like more slots in the Botanical Garden. I also take the time to plot out some semblance of an actual build, so it's time to start hunting for parts. But before that, let's take a moment to talk about crown farming. As you probably noticed, every monster in the game has a certain size, and will be awarded with gold crowns for hunting the smallest and largest monsters we find. These monsters are super rare, around 3% chance to get a crown, and the silver ones don't count for anything. In total, the base game has 29 monsters required for the miniature and giant crown master achievements. In all honesty, this is where most of the grind will take place, going on hunts until we can get all 58 crowns. There is a way of visually measuring the monsters, as they'll be about 25% larger or smaller than normal. And there is another way, a darker way. But you should do things however you want, it's your journey anyway. If you download the Hunter Pie overlay and disable everything but the monster HP, you'll be able to see if a monster is a crown or not the second you enter a hunt. This way you will have a guaranteed way of knowing if something will yield a crown or not. This will help you save time in the long run, as you're not hunting duds and the silver crowns that are there only to annoy you. We're playing Monster Hunter, not Crown Finder, goddammit. In the end, it's up to you if you want to use the overlay or not. You'll find the link for it in the description. Alright, so first order of business in high rank is a stronger weapon, as my current can opener won't cut it anymore. So we set out to hunt enough Diablos to upgrade our Diablos X2 into an X Semper Tyrannis. I stopped to smell the flowers and checked the local zoo for the smallest and cutest Jagras before going back to the grind. We now need a Wyvern gem to finish the next weapon upgrade, so we set out to hunt a Radoban. And with a bit of luck on our side, we get the gem on our first hunt. We can now upgrade to the X of Thanatos, the maximum amount of damage we can squeeze out of this for now, and it's time to focus on the armor. Another Nergigante fight yields us with the missing scales for the Dragon King eye patch. Weakness exploit, here we go. It also feels good to get my revenge for all those horrible fights I had to go through. Next up, I want 3 pieces of Valhazak's gear for the speedy recovery, which is going to be useful in the fights to come against the Elder Dragons. The first hunt goes well, we get plenty of parts, and oh my god, an Elementalist Jewel too! This is exactly what I wanted for the Diablos axe. Such an amazing find. The farming continues, and after 5 hunts in total I have enough materials to craft the chest, hands and coil armor pieces. It's time to finish the main story by doing the other investigations to find 2 more Elder Dragons. The first one is a Teostra, a flaming nightmare that somehow goes down. Valhazak didn't put up much of a fight, but Teostra sure did. Good thing we don't need any parts from it. The next one is Kushala Daora, and oh boy, bring flash pods for this one, as it stays more in the air than on the ground. Not something you want to see when you're a melee character. Finally, the last monster of the main story, Xeno'jiva, is near, and we're ready for the ultimate fight. The fight is a bit awkward as Xeno'jiva moves a lot and most of the body parts are high up. Nevertheless, carving the tail and the monster gives us 2 tails, enough for the last weapon upgrade we need. Provided I hunt some more Black Diablos. We get the Sapphire Star for finishing the story, and with all 9 story achievements done, we're free to do whatever we want. New monster quests with tempered variants will start to appear, and we are free to tackle the remaining achievements in any order we choose. It's time to start the crown farm. I've also found a very well made spreadsheet online for tracking your monsters. I've linked it below, and it's even color coded. The ones with a dark green cell can be obtained easily from events that guarantee a crown. Light green means there's a 50-50 chance to be either a small or a large one. Yellow means there are quests with an increased crown drop rate, a healthy 12% for either crown. Light red means we have to use investigations or the guiding lands if you're delving in the DLC already. And dark red means you have to farm high rank investigations, no other way around it. And it's a good idea to weave in other activities so you don't get burned out from doing the same thing over and over again. In that spirit, I do some more optional quests to chip away at the 50 optional quests achievement, carrying eggs, gathering various ingredients, and hunting some poor monsters that really can stand up to our damage. A few more Black Diablos hunts nets us with enough parts for the Axe of Demons, the hardest hitting switch axe of the base game, and we'll be stuck with it until we start Iceborne. As the crown farming continues, we eventually unlock Monster Slayer for killing or capturing 100 large monsters. During expeditions to the Elder's Recess, I always make a note to check the small lake next to the eastern camp, number 8. And in one such expedition, I notice a blue glow in the water. This can only be a rare fish that we need. Take out your fishing rod, cast your line, spam B even when the QTE prompt is not shown, and you'll fish a petricans to unlock a living fossil. A Rush of Blood is an event quest for the smallest and cutest Odogaron. We hunt the tempered double basil juice at hunter rank 29 to raise the level cap and also get tempered temper in the process. And it was about as fun as you can imagine. Back to the crown grind, here are the arena quests that will guarantee a crown if you finish them. Down a dark muddy path, hunt a large Barret for the crown and also get step into the arena. We'll need 49 more arena quests to get the other achievement, but we have plenty of time. Egg Lovers United to hunt a huge Kulloyaku, USJ Blazing Azure Stars for an Azure Rathalos, and large Dodugama. God, he's so derpy. There's also a quest for the Great Jagras, but I already have a crown for him, and another one for the large Anjanath, but that one's available only if you're playing on the PlayStation console. And since I'm on PC, I'll have to farm him the hard way. From here on out, you'll want to do the following event quests, as these have a 12% chance of spawning a crown monster, so we run them over and over again. With plenty of patience and even more luck, we get 3 crowns in the same hunt. What is this? About 3 hours in the grind, we unlock Miniature Crown Collector and Giant Crown Collector for having 10 small and 10 large crowns respectively. For these, the silver crowns do count, but you'll need all the golden ones in the end, so really they're just there to annoy you. Oh look, this monster was almost a golden crown. You got so close, but nope. Try again 8 more times. At this point, I am comfortable enough with the monsters that I can craft a better armor set to add some more damage to these hunts, as the Valhazak one was a lot of help when I was learning the game. I farm a bit of Xeno'jiiva and Gigante for some armor with attack up and power prolonger. We also get impregnable defense for crafting 5 orange pieces of gear. Between hunts, when you notice the time of day in the ancient forest is either dawn or dusk, you can make a quick expedition to the first camp, walk a bit along the right wall, and search for this shiny beetle. Back the pink Herkudrom for the Rainbow Bright achievement. I take a break and decide to help those in need, respond to 10 SOS missions and help the players on their hunts to receive I am the reinforcements. After finishing all the normal monsters, sitting at 23 small and 23 giant crowns, only the Elder Dragons remain. And here is where the sanity started to slip. There are no special quests that award you with crowns or events with increased spawn rates, so I have to do investigations and brute force the 6% drop rate and hope you get a crown. Eventually we get Hunters United Forever for completing 100 quests in multiplayer. Friendship is the way forward. 2 days later and I haven't found a single Elder Dragon crown, except the giant Teostra one, which is guaranteed to drop from the Blazing Sun quest. Again, taking a break helps. I finished the last few optional quests and needed to unlock the Hunter's Life for me, for doing 50 of them. After counting all the captured monsters, I realized I needed 5 more. And since we're fighting Elder Dragons that can be captured, I decided to hunt some Jagras. It takes about a minute or 2 and we unlock Capture Pro for bagging 50 monsters. The Throne Taker event quest has 3 tempered Elder Dragons, which can be farmed for the last 2 achievements that involve hunting 50 Elder Dragons and 50 tempered ones. But we also want to unlock as many tempered investigations as possible. From what I could find online, golden crowns can only drop from tempered investigations that have at least 3 purple rewards, or regular high rank investigations with 1 silver 1 gold, or 3 gold 1 bronze. Knowing this will ensure you aren't hunting the round investigations and you can actually have a chance to encounter the crown you need. We're currently about 60 hours deep in the run. I'm following an arch-tempered Kirin around to collect footprints and fur in hopes of getting more investigations. But the best part is we're getting them for multiple monsters at random. After doing 50 investigations, we also unlock Franchise Hunter, taking a break from the Elder Farm, start an expedition to the Rotten Vale and follow the path shown to look for some moss swines. Make sure you have the Gilly Mantle equipped, as we don't want to spook our target. We're looking for a bird that rests on top of the swine, and if both swine from the area don't have the bird, we'll have to return to Astera and try again. I actually found it on my 4th attempt, but rushed in to capture it as the swine was moving through the tunnel, and I whiffed it. But on the very next attempt, I found it again on the 2nd moss swine, and actually captured it this time. Whew! With the bristly crake in our bag, we unlock bristles for all. For a less pointy and more snuggly achievement, set out on an expedition to the ancient forest and Wildspire wastes. We want to look out for non-hostile herbivores like the Apsaros and the Aptonoth, and follow them around looking for a row of birds that will spawn on their backs. Some suggest turning the camera away and then looking back at the monster, as this will have a chance to spawn the birds, but this didn't work for me. Instead, after about 10 minutes of trying, I spawn in the ancient forest and spot them dead ahead. Equip the ghillie mantle and the capture net, get close enough and capture the downy crake to unlock snuggles for all. And with this we have all 4 endemic life gathering achievements. We're so close to finishing, but we must return to farming the tempered monsters and elder dragons for crowns. Hunting elder dragons is now the main goal. We're going to need a lot of investigations to get the last crowns, and after slaying a Kirin, Elder Slayer will unlock as we've killed our 50th elder monster. But we still need more tempered ones for the next achievement. So alternating between farming investigations and going on them to hunt the beast is the best way to go about this, as it cuts down on the monotony of just following a monster for an hour. But the crown farming goes well, currently sitting at 25 small and 25 large ones, but besides the crowns we still need to do enough hunts to reach hunter rank 100, and we're only at 61. Farming investigations by following monsters for tracks and the occasional dragon treasure nets us enough research points to eventually unlock commissioned work. 100,000 points earned. We are now around 80 something hours in the game and we're only missing the crowns for Nergigante, as these are the only investigations that just won't drop for me. I also got super lucky to get the 2 Kushala crowns back to back from my last 2 investigation attempts. I can almost taste the achievement, but looking ahead we still need hunter rank 100, and the fastest way to gain experience seems to be an event quest called Snow and Cherry Blossoms, with a tempered Legiana and pink Rathian, awarding us with just a bit more than half a level per hunt. So I'm planning to run a few of those. Eventually I finally got some Nergigante investigations. Let me show you how I did it. Start the Heralds of Destruction Cry event quest and leave without eating. Once you get there, fast travel to the camp and wait for around 10 minutes. When you get back to the game, head to the nearby region where our spiky friend is chilling and pick up an unholy amount of tracks and spikes for investigations. There's so many the scout flies won't even pick them up. Look how many there are. This will also net you with a lot of research points, and for me it unlocked 7 new tempered investigations. None of them for Nergigante, but that's just my luck. I wish I knew this before I started, as I wasted a lot of time following Kirins around for 1 or 2 investigations per hunt. Oh well, at least now you know this as well. Sometimes you do get unlucky and only get a single investigation from the whole thing, so I wish you good fortune. Eventually we get some Nergi investigations, and the very first one yields a humongous Nergigante. Look at the size of this thing, it barely even fits in the tunnel. We take it down and get our last giant crown from the base game, unlocking Giant Crown Master. However, the small one, the very last crown, eludes me once again. And when the investigations run out I have to go get more, but the spirits remain high. Getting tired of that, we decide to get the last multiplayer achievement. Simply have a friend send you their guild card, make sure you have auto accept enabled, and once you have it, delete it. Now rinse and repeat until you have accepted a total of 50 guild cards, and spreading the word will unlock. With a bit more level farming we also unlock Indomitable for slaying 50 tempered monsters. These don't need to be elders, any tempered or arch-tempered monsters will count. And with some luck and plenty of tries we find a small Nergigante. Finally it's over. Take it down and unlock Miniature Crown Master. We also have a few crowns which count for the Iceborne expansion, but that's a topic for another video. Getting here feels so rewarding. It took me 90 hours in total, but we're no longer slaves to the RNG. I continue farming levels and save most of the money and don't craft any new exotic weapons for a while until we get to 1 million Zenny. This is especially fast if you use the daily tickets to double the coin reward for the missions that have a good payout. Doing so will unlock Bourgeois Hunter. You can also sell monster parts if you're close to a million, but I wouldn't recommend that as you never know what kind of parts you'll need later on. With the fat purse we can finally spend, I craft a few more rarity 8 orange colored weapons to get the Power is Everything achievement for making 5 of them. With the crowns done, I move on to the arena quests to finish them once and for all. You can check your progress in the guild card, and since I'm only at 16 we'll have plenty to do until we hit 50. I get back to the Vespoid challenge. I don't really enjoy it and get no hunter rank experience from it, but it has to be done. The weapon picked didn't matter, as I could just clutch Cloud of Vespoids twice to drop them and just farm it out. But wait, there's an even faster quest. The Gajalaka Outbreak lets you pick a bowgun, and with the proper ammo choice and some traps to keep the parrot occupied, I was able to do a run in about 1.5, maybe 2 minutes. Honestly, I enjoyed crown farming more than this, and it's up to you how you want to approach this hell. But after finishing 50 missions, nowhere to go but up with unlock. With the arena quests finally done, we have 3 achievements left. I want to get the one for researching all the base game monsters to max level. Initially, I thought you only needed to bring them to level 3, but boy was I wrong on that one. Anyway, an easy task. Or it would be if this wasn't the point where I managed to sprain not one but both of my wrists. With the part breaking notification appearing for me this time, I knew I fucked up the moment I lifted something as light as a mug and made the sound close to a dying basil juice. This meant that after all this effort I had to stop playing for quite a while, so close to the finish line. 25 hunter ranks and 115 large monsters left. I could not play or edit any footage, so I knew this video was going to be delayed by quite a bit. About a week and a half later, when I could hold a controller again, I continued the adventure. Equipped with working hands, I continued grinding out the hunter rank, determined to finish it without going to Iceborne. Though I recommend don't do it my way, as if I'm not splitting the base game from the DLC, this video is never coming out. After way too many Rathians, I finally get close enough to level 100, so close that I can knock it out with the Jagras fight. Why am I even carving them at this point? What's wrong with me? Once the quest is over, we unlock Established Hunter, the most tedious achievement for me. With only 2 achievements remaining, I am confident I can do it in no time. Counting all the hunted large monsters, we're at 489, so just 11 more for the achievement. I farm out the USJ Gold Star treatment quest for the fastest 11 masters of my life and unlock Master Hunter. And for the final achievement of the base game, we have to max out all the research levels. And while I have most of them, I still need to max out 16 monsters. Off I go to find some tracks. Those give out around 10 to 20 points. Trapping a monster gives 50 and capturing it 90. You also get 20 to 30 points for breaking parts and 50 for killing them, but the former are the way to go. All those points are for high rank, by the way. Low rank quests give a lot less, so it's not worth it. Crafting a hunter's headgear alpha will also grant you the scholar skill, which speeds up the progress on research levels, but this still took a while. Honestly, save yourself the trouble and do the research level before the hunter rank and the 500 monster farm. But this was a nice change of pace for me. Hunting anything besides pink Rathians is a blessing. Eventually I collect enough poop samples and bully my last monster, poor Gyros, but this was the last one we needed. Simply talk to the researcher and Master PhD will appear together with Conqueror of the New World for unlocking everything in the base game. I finally did it, and if I can, so can you. All in all, it took me about 130 hours spread over 2 months, and I'm sure I was AFK for at least 20 of them. Plus, some busy weekends and sprained wrists definitely slow me down. Overall, this didn't feel like a grind for the most part, and since while this is a spreadsheet game, the core gameplay loop is fun and the monsters are so well done that it's a blast to play. If you enjoy the game, don't get discouraged by the difficulty or length, and it's really fun to play Master Hunter World, and I can't wait for Wilds to come out. But I have to finish Iceborne as well before that happens. My friends, thank you all for watching and I'll see you in the next video.